Hello and welcome to the FinBiz 2030 Building Resilience podcast series. This episode features highlights from the Climate Change webinar hosted by Jolien Laird-Horsfall and Emma Bell. In this episode, we hear from Ravi Abeyewardena, Director of the Climate Disclosure Standards Board.
There's a lot of noise when it comes to accountants having accountants saving the world. And I guess, how can I support you in addressing some of those expectations? So like yourselves, I'm a chartered accountant. I've been a financial controller and part of corporate change management solutions focused on combining climate and wider environmental matters into departments. I'm now the technical director with the Climate Disclosure Standards Board, which is supporting the IFRS on its new strategic direction to develop sustainability standards. Pleased to know that accountants like you and I have all the skills to support climate action within the companies we operate in, doing what we do best, challenging and testing positions and assumptions, and ensuring comparable and consistent opinions within the books we prepare and the financial disclosures which we build, and painting a picture that creates global trust. Consistency and comparability in annual reports is more important than ever, with significant existing inconsistencies between the front half net zero commitments, the back half where financials are. Despite climate net zero commitments in the front half of annual reports, the financial opportunities posed by climate are really not reflected in the financial statements themselves. It is the responsibility of accountants like you and I to make sure that the back half very much aligns to the front half. And because of those inconsistencies, corporate greenwashing is rife, and this impacts climate action. Our main job as accountants is to piece together the front half climate sustainability narrative into the back half of accounts where financials are. This isn't for investors to interpret the risk climate has on it. Our skill sets in this area will facilitate peer comparability in statements, ensuring companies are reporting on property solvency alongside climate, and that the assumptions used in financial statements are consistent with sustainability, helping link investors to actual risk and performance of companies from climate and help with the allocation of sustainable financing. If we do this properly, then we will not have quoted companies doing assets well above what they can do in a sustainable world, and we'll achieve that if accounting numbers are correct and the front end reporting is done right. If we don't get this right, it poses a threat to environmental issues we're attempting to resolve, with corporate greenwashing continuing and hard decisions on climate and other environmental matters such as biodiversity being avoided. Your action in connecting the dots will provide wider transformation. The good thing is that an accountant does not need to be an expert in climate, and that's been reiterated by others. But you do need to ask the correct questions and understand how climate change could impact the numbers we manage in our books on a day-to-day business and as auditors audit. Therefore, my suggestion to you is take free courses such as those on the TCFD Knowledge Hub and put it into action, building upon IFRS Guide Accounting for Climate via financial reporting, or applying the IAASB's climate guidance to auditors. It's not revolutionary, it's pretty vanilla, and you can start today. If you work for a large company, get your sustainability department to work for you by asking questions and finding ways to collaborate, or get the support of a good consultant who will challenge you and your corporate and the company's thinking. And don't forget to bring others on the journey, and make sure that you connect in with your FC, financial controllers, financial directors, CFOs and CEOs to advocate the implementation of climate-related disclosures as set out by TCFD and strongly encouraged by global investors. I'm hoping that I've inspired you to apply the thinking in finance and audit departments you operate in, challenge the sustainability commitments made by companies, but asking questions of preparers and connecting the dots where climate change can impact the recoverable amounts of assets held on the books. Work with auditors on such matters. Our unique skill set is needed more than ever. So from the humblest of bookkeepers to the lofty heights of a CFO or an auditor reviewing year-end financials, we all have a part to play in ensuring that the financial books hold a true and fair picture when it comes to the impact of climate on asset values, and appropriate provisions are booked into the accounts where possible. Thanks ever so much.
To hear more podcasts or to find out more about FinBiz 2030, go to finbiz2030.com. Join the conversation using hashtag FinBiz2030. FinBiz 2030 is a joint initiative between One Young World and Chartered Accountants Worldwide. This podcast is produced by Big Top Multimedia. The original webinar series was produced by Be There Productions and Big Top Multimedia. Special thanks to Pexels.com.